Hey all you cinema buffs out there, Nate and Dennis here bringing you our review of The Dark Tower. Yeah. Now, we brought a special guest with us today, Joel Osborn. Joel, thank you very much for being here today. Mm-hmm. Now, Joel just completed his 4th cycle of reading all the Dark Tower books, so he is our Dark Tower expert. So, Joel, let's just start off with, what did you like about this new adaptation?
Let's see. I liked the way that Midworld felt. Okay. It felt like a different place, and they got the tone right. Yeah. And I was surprised that they went into so much backstory with Jake Chambers, the boy.
Yeah.
In the story, and I liked that. I was worried that I wasn't going to care about the characters very much, and they did a lot of telling why Jake is the way that he is.
Yeah, I read the first book. I'm in the middle of the second book right now, and you're right. I mean, Jake Chambers is introduced in the first book, but you really don't know anything about him at all. He sort of doesn't even remember anything about himself.
Right.
Am I right by saying that? So, yeah, there was a lot of backstory with Jake.
Right.
Yeah, I agree that they did a good job making you care about Jake. Now, me personally, I haven't read any of these books, so I walked into this for a pure movie-going experience. And I think they did a good job establishing empathy with Jake, kind of showing the situation he was in. Yeah. And just like, kind of a prophecy story with him where he sees these things, he knows it's coming, but nobody believes him. They think he's crazy.
Yeah, and in the first book, it is the gunslinger story, and in this, it's Jake's story, like 100%. And I almost got like kind of a feel that this is a very relatable kids movie almost. Like it's a kid's adventure.
Yeah,
meeting these giant, huge characters and going to a new fantastical world, and I really felt almost like a never-ending story vibe to it.
Right.
A little bit.
But PG-13. I liked how they did the Tahin, which are the people who are after Jake in the movie. They kind of did this like skin type thing over top of like rat faces, and that's exactly how it's described in the books. So the way, and they didn't really give a whole lot of explanation, but one of them runs by and gets his skin hooked on something, and you see the fur peek out.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
Yeah, and there was the Men in Black at one point. It was just like, throw a mask on, man. Like, come on, I'm trying to run something here. Right. You don't have to. Let's talk about the Man in Black a little bit. What did you think of the portrayal of the Man in Black?
Unfortunate.
Yeah, not pleased with it?
I was not pleased with it. He didn't have a whole lot to work with. He was just a bad guy. And I didn't like that they portrayed him as death or the devil.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, as from a movie standpoint, Dennis, just as a villain for a movie, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they just leaned a little too hard on how extreme of a villain he was. Mm-hmm. I think that you got to kind of draw the fine line when you have one of these villains who is willing to kill their own subordinates.
Yeah.
You gotta, what do these people stand to gain? Because it seems like everybody stands to lose from the Dark Tower falling. Yeah. So, when he's willing to kill his own subordinates and they follow him, it's just a little illogical for me. And I know in a movie like this that's so fantastical, looking for logic isn't probably the best path to go down.
Right.
But from a storytelling standpoint, it's just kind of illogical. Yeah.
I agree, and I think that there was no sympathy for the Man in Black. Right. When I felt sympathy in the book for him, and I felt a connection between him and Roland in the book. And in this, there is a connection. They're definitely trying to make one between them. They're trying to show you that there was a relationship between them, but I just don't think it was fleshed out as well.
Not well at all.
When really he's just a bad guy. You killed my father, and I'm going to get you. That's pretty much the extent of their relationship.
Right. And there's even that, it kind of bothered me just being such a huge X-Men fan that he kept calling him old friend. I'm like, no, dude, that's Xavier.
Right.
Magneto.
Right. Yeah. Also, I don't think I'm going to ruin the books for anybody by saying this. Roland's goal is to get to the Dark Tower and go to the top and see what is at the top of the Dark Tower. That is what he's doing, and protecting it.
Yeah.
And the Crimson King, who you see printed on the side, some graffiti and everything. Yeah. The Crimson King is in the Dark Tower. He's the main bad guy for the whole book. And Randall Flagg is his underling, or Walter, or the Man in Black. Yeah. And he's kind of like a sneaky guy who's backstabbing people in the books, but he's never evil incarnate, and that's what he seemed to be in this movie.
I like Matthew McConaughey as an actor, and I don't think he did a bad job of acting in this at all. He definitely was evil as hell.
Yeah.
Just not very much depth.
No. And the performance at times, like, it wasn't as hammy as I thought it was going to be, because Nate and I, leading up to this movie, we were quoting some of his lines from the trailer. Like, God, he just really leans into it on that one. But surprisingly, in the movie, there were like different takes. It wasn't as just dramatic as all the other lines he said. So I think they dialed it down a little bit, but it was kind of hammy at some point.
Luckily, I thought I was going to be cringing a lot in this movie. I really didn't cringe that much. The performances across the board were pretty solid.
Yep.
Oh, and I think it's led by Idris Elba. I think he did a great job in this one, and I don't know the actor's name, but the kid who played Jake, I thought he did a good job too. And there was this really good dynamic between them. It was feeling like never-ending story where he goes to this far-off land, gets a companion, and they go on an adventure together.
I thought he was great as the gunslinger, Idris Elba. And the character is modeled after Clint Eastwood in the books. Like, that's what you're supposed to be picturing. And when they cast a black actor, people were up in arms like, what? You can't do it. And he did a great job. I thought he nailed it.
I thought he did as well. And even I believed that he used to be a gunslinger. I believed that he had these skills. And some of the action scenes were pretty cool. I think that really awesome scene where, he's listening to the sounds around him. I wish that wasn't in the trailer, because that was a badass scene. And they kind of spoiled it for me in the trailer a little bit.
Yeah,
I was just
you're anticipating it.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, that was too cool of a scene to put in the trailer.
They did flesh it out a little bit more in the movie, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the trailer, there was just pieces of it that we saw, and we saw the whole thing in the movie.
Yeah. But I did think the casting was great. Idris Elba, he is a man of few words as the gunslinger, and they played that well also. You get a feeling of who he is without so much dialogue.
If you saw Wonder Woman this summer, one of the great things about it was the fish out of water part where she went to London.
Yeah.
And they did a great job of when Roland goes to New York, just how fish out of water is. And there's very little humor in this film.
Right.
But when those were the times that the humor
hospital
came up.
scene, things like that. Yeah, I did enjoy that. I also enjoyed the lack of product placement. There's a point where he hands him a soda, and his hand covers the whole thing the whole time, and he asks, "What is this?" And the kid simply says, "Sugar."
It's clearly a can of Coca-Cola.
Sure, but they didn't. He wasn't it's Coca-Cola Classic. Do you like it?
Yeah.
Like,
everybody on Earth here loves it.
Yeah, right. Like, I like that there was no product placement. It was just because I think that takes a lot of notes from the second book, where he's just like he's never tasted anything like a Coke before.
Right.
Like a sugary beverage is like the greatest thing he's ever tasted. I thought they handled that, and his experience in New York City was a cool thing to see. It was a short movie though.
Yeah, that would be one complaint with me. I feel like this movie just doesn't give you enough. Like I said, I like the relationship between Roland and Jake, but I just feel like it could have been extrapolated a little more. Maybe they could have had a few more moments together, bonding moments. I didn't not believe the bonding between them, but I just felt it could have been stronger. And it's just, I think that's just my general opinion of the movie, where it's like I enjoyed it, but it's just there's times where it could have been better. Like, there's a gun scene where, or a gunfight scene where he's taking down the faceless army of the Man in Black, and that scene's sweet, and it's practical effects, and it's really well shot. And then it leads into like this CGI battle that he has with the Man in Black, and that's just where it's just
so sick of those things.
Right, it's just like you had me going. Yeah, I mean, I was like, all right, cool, let's get into this, and then it's just we get everything we've already seen.
Yeah, I think that they're delivering to the audience, and I think that it's a studio being like, this is what audiences want, which it's not. I think that the final battle, which all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're there. We're at the final battle now. Oh, crap. Okay, well, let's do this kind of thing. And it should have been a battle of wits and words, and not... Like, I felt like Matthew McConaughey was just holding up his hands.
Right.
And they added things in. I didn't believe it.
Yeah, it's not like Doctor Strange or Benedict Cumberbatch. You're like, you kind of get the feeling he's really summoning that. It's CGI.
Right, of course.
But that's the halo effect. When you're that involved in the character, and just your suspension of disbelief is a little bit stronger.
There are so many times in the books where Roland is going after the Man in Black.
Yeah.
And he was speaking into marbles. And it is, I don't know what that was. And like Roland was seeing him, but they only had one face off actually at the end of the story, and are at the end of the movie. And in the books, they regularly, like, the Man in Black is right over there turning and talking to him, and Roland's like, ah, and trying to kill him.
Right in his grasp.
Right, he's right there, and he shoots at him, and they have the silly thing where he's picking bullets out of the air and everything. That was bad. Jake's parents in the books are scumbags. Like, he's just trying to get away from them.
Oh, okay.
And they had his dad as a firefighter who died, and his mom as kind of this schleppy guy that she has like no will of her own.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even featured in the book very much. They're just, he doesn't like his parents. And in this one, he's like, oh my God, my mom. And ugh.
You didn't like the dramatic scene?
No. What did you think?
Well, I mean, it was a movie for me, so I
Right,
didn't have any
but
basis
as
of
far as
comparison.
like the parent dynamic, where you
I just feel it was kind of generic. You know, you got the a-hole stepdad and the mom, you know, who wants those two to get along and they don't. So I just feel like it was just a little by the numbers.
I think that the purpose of the firefighter, the dead, I liked the purpose of that, and I liked his dad, that he passed away. It did offer some, you know, explanations for people not believing him in his story for the fire and the darkness. And he's like, you're relating this to things that have already happened. And I also think that it caused a nice relation between the gunslinger and Jake, of both their fathers being lost, and their motto as a gunslinger is so ingrained, is I remember my father's face.
Right.
You know, and I think that's an important thing. So I feel like the death of his father was an important plot point.
buffs.
All right, so we've given our thoughts on the Dark Tower. We've gone into a lot of details here, but I don't think any spoiler territory. But now it's time to put a score on it. Dennis, let's start with you and work our way down. What do you think?
Yeah, I enjoyed myself with this movie. I had my minor gripes about it, but once again, I was walking into this with no expectation. I haven't read the books. They haven't made like an impact on me where it's like, oh, these movies got to matter. I'll probably be a little bit more harshly when I judge it next month, you know, now that I've read the book. But I really enjoyed myself, and I think it does what a good novel adaptation should do. It should make you want more, and this makes me want to read the books now. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10.
Nice. All right, Joel?
As somebody who really was looking forward to this movie, in the past several days, I've been like, please don't suck. Please don't suck. This matters so much to me. I mean, as much as a film can.
Yeah.
And I did not sit in the theater and say, God, this sucks.
Yeah.
I didn't. I liked it. I liked many things about it. That being said, I have lots of gripes as well.
Yeah.
I'm going 6 out of 10. It was good. It could have been much, much better.
Yep. Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, I'm going to go, I mean, I think we're all kind of on the same page with this. And since I've read the first book, it was more of a fun novelty to see what they threw in from what I've already read. I do think it was a complete story. I do think the performances were pretty good across the board. And I think that audience goers will be pleased walking out of the theater. I think people are going to leave this movie being like, wow, that was way better than I expected. But for me, I thought it was good. And I'm going to go with Dennis with a 7 out of 10.
Buffs.
All right, so that's our review for The Dark Tower. We want to thank Joel Osborn for coming in and lending your expertise on this source material. Thank you very much. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. And thanks for having me. I'm glad to go to the movies with guys who love movies so much. So thanks for having me along.
Thanks for coming.
Perfect. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Leave all your comments below of what you think of Stephen King, The Dark Tower, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we appreciate all the support here at Cinema Buffs, and we're not done with Stephen King yet. Next week, I'm going to start my series of Stephen King reviews, where I review my 3 favorite Stephen King movies, my least favorite, and I'm going to give one a try that I haven't seen before. So we'll bring you those reviews in the coming weeks, but until then, don't you forget.
There's no place like the movies.